What is up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to this late night, kind of impromptu Monday night MAVCAST solo stream. Appreciate you hanging out tonight. Got some things that I've been seeing today, so it was enough fuel for a fire to get me to do this. And I appreciate any of you who are tuning in to any of the stuff that we got going on here on Fun Speculation, especially on our shows on Thursday night with the Fun Speculation podcast there with me and Pong and Fuzzy and sometimes 3-Bit, sometimes Jasper, whoever's able to make it. I appreciate all of you guys. And also, shout out to the people on Twitter who have shared these posts and brought them to light because it's gave me enough fuel to be able to do this. So shout out to everybody out there as well. Shout out to chat. Also, Mac22TH54, what's up? Lydian Master, how's it going? Delroy, what's up? Game Shark, what's up? G Maybe, what's up? Silver Lab Guy, what's up? Ray Oid is there hanging out as well. Appreciate y'all. And we'll see who all rolls in here on a late Monday night stream. But yeah, I was kind of just chilling, watching football tonight. Playing a little bit of Madden here and there, but I saw a lot of stuff going on social media today that I was kind of like, oh, what the hell's going on? Some stuff is cool. Some stuff like we got this new update for Xbox where the PC store is now going to show you all of your libraries of games all in one place. So that's going to be cool for me because just being able to launch the Xbox PC app and be able to see my Steam games, my Xbox games, anything that I got for free from Epic or whatever games, libraries and storefronts are going to be part of it. It's a cool feature just to all have in one place and actually something I'll be using quite a bit. So there's that. I've been seeing a lot of talk about the Nintendo Direct from, on Friday, which I thought was a pretty good Direct and stuff, but man, I saw this one post today that was like, what? This one clip from a Nintendo podcast. I'm like, wow, people are really still this delusional. That's not a word. Delusional about the Xbox platform and ecosystem. Like, where have they been? Have they been living in a cave under a rock? Like, I don't understand some of the takes that you still see these days, and it's like people are treating things like it was 2014 or something. It's really strange how Xbox has had this perception problem still, even with the amount of games they've released this year, to have anybody that's involved with any kind of gaming podcast or anything to be that delusional to where you actually can say the words that Xbox has nothing this year is absolutely insane. It's absolutely fucking insanity. Is my audio low, Calorie? I could try turning it up, see if I can't jack it up a little bit. Let me see if I can't do that here. Testing. Hey, yo, is this any better? Let me see if I can't do it on the app here. Is what old school takes. Yeah, it's like takes that are in the dark ages of social media. I even saw yesterday that Tim Dog was like, "Hey, I'm gonna start being an Xbox like console warrior again." I'm like, what the hell's going on? Where am I? What's happening? Yeah, I don't understand a lot of these things going on right now. I think people have just kind of lost their minds a little bit, man. But yeah, it's been an interesting day here. So let me see if I can jack this up. Tell me if it's coming in any hotter, any louder. And if not, then I don't know what to do because I'm literally adjusting everything that I have. But appreciate you for watching. It's the same. Sound fine? Okay, I'll try and speak up a little bit too for those that, because I have seen somebody posting a comment that said I was low, but then I listened back and it sounded normal to me. I know sometimes my voice just particularly can sound a little muffled on things. So, but anyway, appreciate you being here, Calorie. Tim Doxy X. Well, now then today he said I was kidding. Like yesterday he was like doubling down on all that stuff and like saying he like is serious, his word is good on to people's comments, because I was just curious, so I was like going through and scrolling on it and like, what is he talking about? And he was even talking about trying to bring RDX back and that his word is good on that and stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? And then today he's told somebody that he was kidding yesterday. I honestly, I don't want to, like, I don't have anything against him, dog. Like, he's always been nice to me, right? But it's almost like he announced that yesterday and maybe didn't get the reaction or response that he thought he was going to. And so then today he was like, I was kidding. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Yeah, and Silver Lab guy says he's lost all credibility. Here's the thing: when you are one of these people, right? This is why I don't stand on a square. Like, there's not a square that I stand on that says like I can't budge out of it, or I'm not allowed to criticize something, or I'm not allowed to have opinions that could be potentially negative at times about whatever square that is. Right now, some people like stand on a square and they just like fight for that, and at all cost nothing can be bad whatsoever and all that stuff. I'm not that guy. But when you take that stance and you are somebody that's like a warrior type person for a multi-trillion-dollar corporation, and then you are like, all of a sudden, bam, I am no longer that. 100%, I'm going in a 100% different direction. I'm only this now. It's like you just completely changed who you are on an identity level, because you make your entire identity about one thing overnight. Then you realize, well, that was stupid because I'm not actually into that. And it's like I've kind of just lost what I am now and reaching for things for engagement, potentially. Right? Just saying, because a lot of the posts you see are also about that, or about engagement, about analytics, and it's just kind of cringy to me, like that your identity is based on analytics. What you say is just dependent on what kind of reaction you're going to get, not because you actually mean what you're going to say. Like, how does anybody ever give a shit about what anybody says if you can't trust what they're saying? Because it's just purely for the click. Now, that's the same thing as like gaming media. Like, fuck all that shit. I'm just like, say what you feel. And if it happens to be positive about something, it's because you actually like it. If it happens to be negative about something, it's because you're upset about something. It's as simple as that. Just say what you feel and be who you are. Don't be a fucking person that only puts out their words meant for monetization. Unless everybody knows that you're fake. Unless it's a stick, everybody knows you're fake. Everybody knows hey, this is a character you're playing. You're not a real person. If you're a real fucking person, be a fucking real person. That goes for anybody on social media or creators or anything. Either you're a character or you're real. One of the two. I don't want to hear any of this bullshit. Well, yeah, I'm just playing it up for because it's fun or wataver. Like, why the fuck would anybody pay attention to you if you can't take it seriously? Anyway. Yeah, like Calorie says, I listened to RDX for a year or two, and his takes were some of the worst on the show. I'd be glad if Dealer came back and did it with Colt and Zocker, but I'm good without Tim Duncan. And again, I don't have necessarily anything personal against him. It's just the stuff I see online that's like kind of cringy to me, and this back and forth stuff meant for engagement and clicks and like stirring shit up. It's just like super fucking cringy, man. Like I don't know. I guess everybody do you, but I'm just gonna call it for what it is. It's fucking cringy, and who can take anybody seriously like that? Who can take anybody seriously if you know that their entire identity can be flipped overnight and then go back and forth like that? Like it doesn't. Nothing you say matters at that point. Nothing. Um. Yeah. I used to listen to RDX too, man. You know, and like I enjoyed the show. I like Dealer. You know, that Dealer was cool. He was always cool to me too. Like he was good with me, nice back and forth and stuff. He had me on a show a couple times. I like have respect for a lot of the guys on the show, but like a lot of times when you're still listening to it, then you hear some of the takes. It's like, yeah, you don't have to agree with everything that they say. You know, there was some interesting conversations on that show back in the day that I thought were like kind of misguided or that ill-informed or whatever, you know, from all of them, just like I have had many times on our own show, you know. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say Tim Dong had more than the others. Maybe he did, maybe not. But I remember talking with other people that in the community and other podcasters and stuff, and would be checking out a show, be like, what the fuck are these guys talking about right now? It doesn't make any damn sense. And you know, or certain hate against like certain genres. One of the main things that bothered me with that show was when they just act dismissive over like JRPGs and stuff like that. Like, oh, Xbox, like we don't want that shit. Like, speak for yourself, you know? Like, don't put the words in that every fucking Xbox gamer doesn't want that shit, you know? But overall, like I thought RDX was a great show. I think it sucks that it's gone. You know, a lot of got into Fonz well from that show. Colt, have had several interactions with him. He's been on our show numerous times. He's been cool to me. You know, I never really talked to D-Batch, and maybe at this point, after seeing the way he acts online, maybe that's a good thing. Um, I've had a couple different interactions with Tim Dog here and there. Dealer was the guy that I'd probably talked to the most actually on RDX, but yeah, he kind of went MIA, right? So, oh well, it is what it is. Besides RDX and all that stuff, it is just interesting seeing that again, right? It'd be cool seeing them do like a reunion show or something. But I also think if that did happen, the wheels might fall off and you might get some crazy arguments going back and forth because of D-Batch. Just from the way he portrays himself online these days. Not saying he's a bad guy. I don't really know him, you know, but anyway. Shout out to everybody here for being here tonight. You all rock. See lots of familiar faces here hanging out. It is late on a Monday night. I want to get into some of the stuff that I did see today. Like I just mentioned this a little bit ago. The Xbox PC app getting an update. Starting today, the Xbox app is giving you one place for everything you want to play. Find, download, and launch the games you love faster and easier than ever. So let's check that out. Yeah, so yeah, I need to shrink this or make it bigger. Yes, it's starting today. There we go. Yeah, starting today, we're excited to share the new updates are rolling out for Xbox on PC and handheld that make it easier to launch and manage your games and apps all in one place. In response to feedback, blah, 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 we've introduced several new features that enhance your gaming experience on Windows PCs and handhelds.
The aggregated gaming library, cross-device play history, and updated app functionality give you more control over how you and where you play, helping you quickly jump back into the games you love. The aggregated gaming library to launch your games. This is the main thing that is exciting. This is something that we've talked about numerous times on our shows about how things are all coming together. I kind of saw the potential future of where everything was headed, and this is awesome because think about this, not just on these handhelds or on the PC, but let's say like 2027 or 2026, they actually have a new console like device and it's capable of the same thing. It's going to be really fucking sick, right? To be able to have a box on your TV and you just have this one aggregated ecosystem with all your games right there. I'm super pumped for that. Now, Xbox got to work out some situations with your console library going to PC and how that's all going to function. 100%. For first party games, it's not an issue, but for some third parties and stuff, it is. So, the Xbox Play Anywhere thing needs to be taken advantage of more, or they need to find another solution to make sure your entire library moves over on the future console like devices, right? Bring your game collection together with a new aggregated gaming library that shows your installed games from multiple PC storefronts, including your Xbox library, Xbox Game Pass, Battle.net, and other leading PC storefronts. You would think Steam, Epic, blah blah blah, making it easier than ever to access your games in one place, whether you're on a Windows PC or handheld device. When you install a game from a supported PC storefront, it automatically appears in my library within the Xbox PC app. That's pretty damn sick. As well as the most recent list of titles in the sidebar, so you can jump back into your favorite games with just a click. You can also control what shows up in the library. You can actually toggle to see those PC storefronts within the app. And then also, this is coming later in September. Your cloud playable games and gameplay history will follow you across all your devices. Now, also remember that it was just reported that it's getting an upgrade where you're going to either have a higher bitrate option or 1440p option for streaming. So coming later in September, cloud playable games and gameplay history will follow you across all your devices. To find out which games are cloud playable, select the cloud playable filter in My Games to view your catalog of supported titles. Once this feature is released, look for the jump back in list on the home screen of your console, PC, or handheld to find your recent play history and pick up where you left off. For example, something like NBA 2K26, you can play on the cloud on the PC even if you just own it on console, but it's not technically an Xbox Play Anywhere title. So yeah, I want to get back to this. I thought it was pretty cool news. I don't know if a lot of people are as excited about that as I am. However, if you look into the future and you see the potential of this, then your wheels start get turning about what it can mean for future console-like hardware if it is that hybrid PC system to where we have that same access that these devices are getting now. Having access to Steam, Epic, GOG, all that stuff on your console, as well as your Game Pass and all your Xbox library, as would be pretty fucking awesome because there are still some games that are only on PC or have early access on certain platforms. Maybe a game goes on sale or something. Like Humble Bundle still has all those deals for collections of games. You get a Steam library that way. All those reasons are good to be able to launch multiple games or storefronts from one device, even if it's an Xbox centered device, right? And if you're on PC, having this takes away you having to launch all these different fucking launchers all the time. Now, this is for me as a play for them to try and get people to use the Xbox launcher more. And it will be a thing on these Xbox handheld devices because that will be the default, right? So as more of these handheld devices get out there, that will be the default. So people will, and gamers that end up owning all these devices will end up naturally gravitating probably to this. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, right? Something I'm looking forward to. Sup, Cyber Gunter? How you doing, bro? Calorie says, what I want Xbox to do is also aggregate all of my purchase games so I don't buy the same game in multiple stores on accident, Steam won't ever let you buy the same game twice, even if it's a bundle. I did see something recently where the Microsoft and Xbox were cracking down on like illegitimate bundles and stuff, where they're like, so many of the publishers are like duplicating game bundles and stuff like that. Yeah, they should make it to where it's easier to see, especially if you have a large game library. It can be confusing sometimes. Like, did I buy that? And then you look at it, you click on it in the storefront, it doesn't say that you own it. So then, like, okay, do you go back out to your library and just double check? But you want to buy it for like $4 because it's a damn good deal. And then you get it and it's like, oh, I already got that. Yeah, it's been a situation before. Yeah, hopefully stuff like this, and they've been doing some really good work this past year, man. I would say for the PC side and for the Xbox ecosystem and all this, as they've been merging into one ecosystem more so, they've been doing the best work they've ever done as far as the PC side to get it caught up with the console stuff, because they are trying to merge things and make it more cohesive. Ever since they got ABK, also in the whole reorganization of Xbox, Windows is technically under like Phil Spencer, I think, in the whole hierarchy thing, and they're all working together for gaming and all this other kind of stuff now. So I think they're more connected and able to do better work than they've been able to in the past. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing I wanted to talk about. Hey, yo, Psycho, dude, Psycho, man, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing well. Hit us with a $2 super chat. Said, "What's up, Mav? Miss you, brother." And hello, chat. Yeah, I miss you too, man. Hopefully, you can make it on a show at some point again. Just miss having your voice to talk to on the shows, dude, or just be able to shoot the shit. I know we still um, hit up in the DMs and stuff, but yeah, be good to catch up with you again sometime soon, bro. But yeah, appreciate the $2 super chat. There's Lazy Sloth in the chat, says hi. Zach Riley says, think that fucking Outbreak Dino bundle that's re-released every week. Think that God they stopping that. Yeah. Yeah, the shiesty bundles is something they're trying to get rid of. Before we get into the big thing I wanted to talk about, the worst take I think I've seen in a while regarding gaming. I wanted to get into good old Cocaine Randy, our good beloved, head of Gearbox, Mr. Borderlands. I come to like Randy back in the day when he used to promote Brothers in Arms. When those games were being announced and he would talk about them as they were playing them, I was like, man, this guy really is enthusiastic and about their games, and I like the way he talks about their games and stuff. Well, it's been a long time since those days, and Randy Pitchford has become a very interesting character in the gaming world. As the head of Gearbox, he's been involved in controversies. He's had many things that he said in the past that have come back to haunt him a little bit, and not one to really hold back his tongue, as he told a fan recently that if you're a real fan, you'd pay $80 for Borderlands 4, I think, is something like that. That kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And now his latest comment after the launch of Borderlands 4, which people are saying it's a great game. A lot of people are loving it. Some not as much, but for most part, I've heard many great things about Borderlands 4, except for the optimization on PC specifically, where people are having a lot of crashes, frame rate issues, even on high-end graphics cards, right? Even on 4080s, 4090s, 5090s and stuff like that. People are still having issues here and there with their setups. And I guess Randy was getting sick of the negative comments or negative feedback on Steam and the negative comments on social media about Borderlands 4, where people were focusing so much on that he had something to say. He had something to say. I haven't played it yet. I'm going to get Borderlands 4. I was thinking about doing it the other day. I didn't end up pulling the trigger yet. At some point I will. It's not because of the optimization shit and stuff like that. It's just because we've been busy, and I've been kind of addicted to a couple other games I've been playing and stuff like that. But Borderlands is definitely on my list. I've played many games that have had optimization issues at launch. I hate it when they have optimization issues, especially if they aren't able to hit like a stable 60 mainly, or like a decently stable 60. Or if they have a lot of crashes or issues. Nobody likes that stuff. However, it's been something that we've all dealt with a lot this generation. Let's just be honest. And Borderlands 4 is not an exception to that. It has kind of been, for a lot of games, become like the standard that a lot of these games launch in an unfortunate way. Now, Borderlands, like I said, it's been getting a lot of positive reception with the game itself, and that's mainly what I care about. Like, I want to play Borderlands. I'm super excited to play it. But like Randy's comments were fun because they, in some ways, I kind of agree with some of the stuff he says, but it's like at the same time, it's like maybe you shouldn't say it. But it's like he's also passionate. I think the passion comes through for his product, and sometimes it comes through in the wrong way, where it's like, yeah, we made some awesome shit. Stop complaining, or like this game's worth so much. Like, if you're a real fan, you'll like, I mean, you don't want to present to the customers that way, you know. But I want to read kind of some of the stuff that he said here. He said every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are running is doing. It's funny that he got community noted here for just for that comment, because readers said the main contention PC gamers have is that the game is poorly optimized. A recent video by Digital Foundry will explain. Processing the latest hardware does mitigate the poor optimization to a great degree, but it doesn't erase the fact that it is poorly optimized, which is hilarious. That it got community noted. So Randy went on to say that Max says, I'm being nice to him because I think he's a hilarious character in the gaming space. And I honestly, just for pure entertainment purposes, I don't want him to change. Like, I just like the fact that this guy will just say whatever, and we get to talk about it and make fun of it and have fun with it. And I will say that he is in charge of a studio that has made a lot of great games. So in that sense, I will defend him. And Borderlands and Brothers in Arms are two franchises that I have absolutely loved. So as far as overall, I think Gearbox is a pretty good development studio, and the fact that he's in charge of it is pretty funny because of the character that he is. So he said, we have made an amazing and fun and huge looter shooter campaign game. The game is pretty damn optimal. I mean, I've seen people I trust playing on and I think this is mainly for the PC version. People I trust that have good graphics cards and I know have good setups that have had a lot of optimization issues and a lot of crashes and problems with this game. That's not to say that they can't get fixed quickly and stuff. I've seen that on numerous games this generation. But to say that it's pretty damn optimal is kind of interesting and funny. Again, he's going to be super defensive, which means that the software is doing what we want without wasteful cycles on bad processes. With Borderlands 4, every PC gamer has a lot of tools to balance their preferences between frames per second, resolution, and rendering features. Oh, obviously he's not mentioning the crashes here, right? And what I've seen is like people that have super high graphics cards, after updates or stuff, like the frame rate has gone to shit. So I don't know if he's being like, I agree with him that a lot of times PC gamers and gamers in general will have unrealistic expectations over their rigs. Like if you have like a two or three generation ago graphics card that's mid level, right? And it's a brand new game coming out this year. I I wouldn't expect that to be running at ultra over 60 frames on everything. Right, 4K and all that shit. Like now some are like, "Hey, if it doesn't do that, it's poorly optimized." Now, granted, yes, the tools are there, you can tweak that, but also let's just be real, Borderlands isn't the most graphically intensive game either. I mean, we're talking about a cel shaded, colorful game that really, if you look at it, yeah, it looks better than it did in the past, but it also looks a lot of the same. Now, they're doing a lot of other things behind the scenes with the whole world mechanic of the loot and all this other shit, but like, this game should run like butter on everything. I'm just saying. Um, so we have made an amazing and fun, huge looter shooter, blah, 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 blah. He says, a lot of tools, preferences between FPS resolution and rendering features. If you aren't happy with the balance between these things you're experiencing, please tune to your preferences using the tools available to you. Yeah, 100%. That's one thing I love about PC. I don't think PC gamers aren't aware they can do that for the most part. We appreciate the incredibly high degree of passion and excitement there is for the game we've been developing for over 6 years. We know strong feelings lead to strong opinions. We hear you and see you. For a campaign looter shooter, it is absolutely reasonable for developers to focus on default settings, achieving 30 frames per second on minimum specification and 60 frames per second on recommended. Yeah, I agree with that. However, I would say if you have something like a 4080 and above, you might expect better. You might expect better because that's not really medium level hardware at that point, right? Some of you would prefer more FPS or higher resolution. We have provided many tools to help you make those trade-offs. It is a mistake to believe or expect that PCs between minimum specification and recommended specification can achieve all of extremely high frame rate. I agree there too. Maximum ultra features and extremely high resolution. But I don't think people are really expecting that. Now, I do think there are people that have unreasonable expectations with the performance. But that being said, what I mentioned about the people that I'm familiar with that have super high-end graphics cards that I've seen numerous reports on, them tweeting about it, have had optimization issues, have had crashes, all these other kind of things. And that's been more so the discontent from the PC gaming community. If that last post makes you have a negative reaction, I bet you have emotions and expectations that you feel aren't sufficiently attended to. I'm sorry. But please accept that the game is doing a lot and running pretty optimally, and that you may have to either accept some trade-offs between frames per second, features, and resolution as your preference, or you will continue to be disappointed. It's like lower your expectations or you're going to be disappointed, basically, is what he's saying. There are a few real issues, but they are affecting a very, very small percentage of users. I think that's a little bit exaggerant right there. We are fixing those, and many are already fixed. We're also doing significant work on PC performance. And, well, everything else that is coming at us, we're not stopping. If you have feelings about PC performance, my advice is to not wait and to make the trade-offs to prioritize what is important to you. If it's FPS, you can get high FPS by turning some features down or reducing resolution. If it's features or resolution, you may be playing at 60 frames per second or even 30 frames if you have lower end hardware. Use DLSS, it's great, blah, 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 blah. Everyone has a freedom to believe what they want to believe. I know in the internet it's easy to find rage and passionate people who are convinced of all kinds of things, whether they are true or not. If you are so attached to the idea that DLSS is bad for your game experience because of something you saw or read on the internet, I am sorry. Oh man, it's so funny, dude. I hope instead you would use the technology designed to give you the experience you want. But you do you. We'll keep working. the more people that play, the more data we get, and the easier it is to keep making improvements. So thank you for playing, and thank you for your passion. If you have a different kind of issue that is real that I haven't spoken to here, please reach out to customer service. I have personally done some CS for Borderlands 4 and have helped a lot of people, but it's impossible for me to help everyone. I'm just one fucking guy. I'm Randy fucking Pitchford. He didn't say that. And thank you for your passion. I know nobody posts anything unless they really care about something. And from the most passionate love to the most passionate hate, you're all telling me that you really care. I feel you and I thank you. Yeah, it's funny. Like, overall, I just find it funny. Like, I think that a lot of what he says is like, hey, we made an awesome game. Stop complaining. There's tools for you to use. And we're going to keep working at optimization in the meantime. Fair enough. Could have left it at that. But no. I think overall, like I said, I agree with a lot of what he said, but I think it can come across the wrong way for the people that are having legitimate issues, right? For the people that are having legitimate issues, like, this will rub you the wrong way. If you are somebody that is riding the train and isn't really experiencing real problems, then this is meant for you, I think. So ultimately, who's to say? I do think his number of the very, very small percentage is a little inaccurate comparative to what I've seen from friends on social media and people I talk to and stuff. So overall, it's Randy fucking Pitchford. And he's going to have a crazy personality and say stuff. And it's going to rub some people the wrong way. But overall, this one, I think, is more so just interesting to kind of dissect than it does, like, upset me personally. But let's say I just bought the game and I was having crashing issues all over the place. And I have a good graphics card. I have a good CPU, all the stuff on my PC. If I wasn't able to get over 30 frames on my PC at like 1440, I would be like, what the fuck is this shit? And like, if I'm not able to get 1440 60 frames on my PC when I load in Borderlands 4, I'll be like, yeah, this is unoptimized. So, like, I don't know the situation out there for everybody, but I do think it's a little bit bigger than he's putting out there on PC. And yeah, like, the main thing is crazy to say that to paying customers over, like, in general. But, he's not really known for being a PR guy as far as like, hey, I'm going to say all the right things to make everybody warm and fuzzy. He's just going to say what he thinks, But that wasn't the worst thing, obviously, that happened with the takes today. I got one more for you guys. And if you saw the thumbnail, maybe this is why you clicked on it, because somebody said that Xbox has nothing on a Nintendo podcast. Now, maybe they're just high on the Nintendo Direct and are in love with everything they showed, or maybe they only pay attention to Nintendo. I don't know, but we're going to try and figure this out because I got this clip here to show you guys.
For Christ's sake.
All right, here we go.
Look at PlayStation. Look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing. Nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing. They release one game every quarter.
Yeah.
And we have like 5 games coming from Nintendo themselves before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Then Zelda and Pokemon and Tamagotchi Life and everything coming at the start of next year. There's so much. And it's like, yes, we all want F-Zero. We all want Star Fox. We all want Animal Crossing. Give it a rest. Nintendo, they just launched this console 3 months ago. And they've already given us a brand new Mario Kart, a brand new Donkey Kong, and almost every single main IP they have has a game that's almost ready to come out, other than a couple. They showed Fire Emblem today, a brand new Fire Emblem, which, like, people love Fire Emblem, and people are still like, oh, well, I didn't get a new Chibi Robo game. These things will happen. Animal Crossing.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop it right there. It's a guy who faked the leak from Nintendo. I don't know who this guy is. I just saw this. I've never heard of Nintendo podcast. There's a million gaming podcasts. I saw this circulating, but just like the very first thing he says.
Look at PlayStation. Look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing.
Where have you been, motherfucker? Like, where have you been? I see your hair's really long. I'm not this, hey, cool look, whatever. But maybe that's because you've been living in a cave for 12 months and you just crawled out and you're like, oh, this is Nintendo Direct. Time to wipe my fucking eyes and see what's happening in gaming. Oh my God, there's a Switch 2 and all these new games. Oh, let's talk about it. Xbox has nothing. Where have you been, bro? Where have you been? Like, just releasing this year. Just releasing this year. We have so many fucking games. Now, this is just games for Xbox, published by Xbox this year. Oblivion Remaster, Ninja Gaiden 4, Doom the Dark Ages, Gears Reloaded, Grounded 2, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 Remastered, South of Midnight, Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Keeper, and Black Ops 7, and Towerborn. That's 12. 12 games published, and I might be missing some. There's also there's some other things like arcade style, like I think didn't Quake get like it was Hexen / Hexic, that's what it was. Got another little remaster too, like, and yeah, you can't say, oh, those don't count, because when he goes on, he's counting shit like the Mario Galaxy stuff.
Release one game every quarter,
Yes.
and we have like 5 games coming from Nintendo themselves before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Then Zelda and Pokemon and Tamagotchi Life and everything coming at the start of next year. There's so much, and it's like, yes, we all want F-Zero, we all want Star Fox.
I think he's bitching at Nintendo fans for like complaining about the Direct, that their games that they wanted weren't there.
We all want Animal Crossing. Give it a rest. Nintendo, they just launched this console 3 months ago, and they've already given us a brand new Mario Kart, a brand new Donkey Kong, and almost every single main IP they have has a game that's almost ready to come out, other than a couple. They showed Fire Emblem today, a brand new Fire Emblem, which like people...
That's the one at the Nintendo Direct I'm actually excited for.
People love Fire Emblem, and people are still like, oh, well, I didn't get a new Chibi Robo game. These things will happen. Animal Crossing will happen. F-Zero might. I don't know if F-Zero will happen, because I don't know if Nintendo cares. We have 8 more years of this console. Don't rush. Take it slow. Life is precious.
People
you know?
don't know.
He's telling them to slow down. Like, life is precious. We don't need to be asking for this many games. Everybody relax. You know, just like, hey, cool it, everybody. Look how much they're giving us. But Xbox has nothing. PlayStation has nothing.
How to do that anymore, because look at how streaming is. You get an entire show dumped on you in a day.
I know.
You don't have to wait for anything anymore. Think about how you feel when you order something from Amazon. It says it's going to come 2 days from now. You go, ugh. We've been conditioned to get everything now.
Yeah. I just...
Look at PlayStation. Look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing. They release one game every quarter.
Yeah. What? Like, okay. Anyway, that's like one of the most ridiculous takes I think I've seen this year. Like, even PlayStation fanboy guys, even like the PlayStation diehards that were all talking shit for years, have refused to say that, because they know how it looks compared to the PlayStation this year. Now, I will say, yeah, PlayStation this year has been pretty weak on the first party stuff, for sure, right? They have like Death Stranding 2 published, their Ghost of Yotei. Besides that, they had like Lost Soul Aside. there's not much, right? Yeah, this year's very weak for PlayStation in general. However, why are we even comparing the kindergarten shit that Nintendo is putting out to PlayStation and Xbox games? If PlayStation and Xbox were developing games that looked like they do on the Switch, they'd probably have fucking 50 a year, bro. The only thing that makes the Switch special is the fact that those kindergarten games are only available on the Switch. It's not like the Xbox or the PlayStation are unfucking capable of playing those games. Oh my god, we would really love to play Mario Kart on the fucking Xbox, but man, could you imagine Xbox running Mario Kart? Man, that would be just fucking crazy. I don't think the Xbox could handle it. You know, what kind of irrational thought would that be? The only thing that makes the Nintendo Switch worth anything is the fact that Nintendo only puts those games on their platform. So all the exclusivity guys say, see, that's why you need exclusivity. Well, wouldn't it be better for everybody if just everything was everywhere? And we could play all those kindergarten games on the Xbox and on the fucking PlayStation also? Because they're definitely capable of playing it. That way we wouldn't have to own that useless piece of shit. What about a little PC handheld? What about a PC handheld? That'd be great. That way I don't have to own that useless piece of shit that's only good because of the things that they only put there. If in a day where we have complete multi-platform, everything is everywhere, nobody would see fucking value in a Nintendo Switch. If everything was everywhere, the Switch would be the worst piece of shit out there in gaming. And it'd also be a lot cheaper. It'd be a hell of a lot cheaper. Because it's made with old stuff. It's made with crap. I mean, really, why are we even putting the kind of games that Xbox and PlayStation are putting out in the same league as shit that's made for preschoolers? Now, granted, I like a lot of them. They're fun. They're just dumb fun games. But I'm not looking at Mario Kart World being like, man, this was a revolution in fucking kart gaming and kart racing. This like just really changed everything. Wow. The holy crap. Does it look so much better than before? Oh my God. It is that fucking incredible. Holy shit. Where has this been all my life? No, it's another Mario Kart. Looks pretty much the same. Yeah, you can go a little bit more places. In fact, also a lot of Mario Kart fans aren't even that happy with it. Donkey Kong, hey, yeah, cool, it's more open. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we got another Donkey Kong out there. I haven't played it yet, so I'm not going to talk too much shit on there, but like, man, it's just, are you really going out there and say Xbox has nothing when they're fucking putting out games like Doom the Dark Ages? Making a game that looks as good as the Oblivion remaster does? We have Call of Duty is still coming out this year. There's tons of shit. The Tony Hawk game is a blast. Outer Worlds 2 is going to be a massive epic game. Avowed was good. Like, and you're sitting there comparing kindergarten shit. Like the Tamagotchi. Really? And saying, hey, everybody calm down. We're going to get a new Animal Crossing eventually. Everybody stop judging the Nintendo Direct because we didn't get an Animal Crossing. We're going to get it eventually. I just don't fucking understand. Ninja Gaiden 4 is going to shit all over anything Nintendo does. As far as how it looks and plays. Like Doom the Dark Ages, look at it, play it. If Nintendo put out Doom the Dark Ages and it was like a Switch exclusive and it was like a Nintendo game, people would be like, this is the best shit they've ever fucking created. Ever. Oh my god, Nintendo took a step up to the next level. Oh my god, they're in the same league now as PlayStation and Xbox. Holy shit. But no, they're incapable of doing it. Said that Metroid Prime 4, which looks pretty cool. You could go back on the 360 and play Halo 4, which looks better. On the 360. I'm saying Xbox has nothing. I mean, you can make an argument that Grounded 2 is pushing more boundaries than anything that fucking Nintendo has. South of Midnight. Outer Worlds 2, especially, coming out this year. It's just asinine, man. I know I'm going to piss off a lot of Nintendo fans. But when is this fucking delusion going to stop? Yes, Nintendo games are cool, dumb, fun. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun games. I'm excited for Fire Emblem because finally, for the first time, I can get a Fire Emblem that doesn't look like absolute dog shit. I like the gameplay. I like the mechanics of the turn-based tactical gameplay. But I complained about this when I was playing Three Houses on the Switch after it launched. I was like, oh my god, this would be amazing if there was fucking textures. If I could read the font on a big screen. If finally we get that. Finally. I'm not looking at any of the Mario stuff they announced or like Donkey Kong stuff or the other games that he was talking about that they got coming at the end of the year being like, oh my god, those are really what all the gamers say? Moving the needle for Nintendo. It's the same shit over and over again. It's the same shit. When are people going to actually realize? I think starting to happen right now with Sonic, with the Sonic racing game that's coming out, and people are like, oh wow, this is actually better than Mario Kart because we've played it during they had like a free play beta thing or whatever, and people are like, oh my god, this is actually great. And then Sega came out with a commercial basically shitting all over Mario Kart. I saw it on Twitter today, which is absolutely awesome. I'm paying homage to the 90s commercial that they had. But like, when are people going to start, like, all of a sudden be playing this and be like, wow, this is a new Mario. What's going to happen in the story? Oh, Bowser's going to show up on a ship and grab Princess Peach and take her off somewhere, and then we're going to get Mario, Luigi, and Toad, and we're going to go into a new zone and fucking try and save her. Like, it's the same shit over and over and over again. Fine. You know, this one you can be an elephant. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Let's just, like, if you're going to include... Now, I usually, for the sake of conversation, I don't even include Nintendo in the same category as PlayStation Nintendo anymore because they are so far behind in, like, what's capable in gaming that they're just a different thing. It's basically like a toy that we have nostalgia for because of the brands that they've developed. And it's like, oh, a new Mario, a new this, a new that. Oh, let's just like relive our childhood. Oh, that's so special and so cute. Oh, I want to play that because it's special and cute, not because it's fucking awesome. Well, look at that. How charming. Remember those days? I mean, it's a new one. It makes me relive my childhood. It's because it looks like the shit we played when we were kids. Now, Xbox, PlayStation doing completely different things. Completely different things. So I don't include Nintendo when I'm comparing PlayStation and Xbox and stuff. However, he did. He decided to say that, look at Xbox, they have nothing. In a year that they have fucking 12 first-party releases, they have also the best service with a subscription service available where you actually have games that are Game of the Year contenders hitting day and date. And then PlayStation. Yeah, down year for PlayStation. Maybe that's a little justified there. I don't know. But, wow. How out of touch and misinformed can you be about a platform ecosystem that has released by far more first-party games this year than anybody? Just saying. Mac22TH54 with a $2 says, almost 70 of us in here, people, hit the like button. Appreciate everybody in the chat for hitting the like button. If you do like the content here, hey, hit the like button, share it out, notification bell, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Shane G says Xbox is held to insane standards, PlayStation is held to correct standards, Nintendo is held to no standards. That's really good, actually, perception of what happens out there. I mean, again today, I saw stuff about Game Passes killing the industry. Like from IGN. Like, what? What are we doing? Why are they even talking about this? Why are we quoting different fucking executives or different ex-executives or the developers all the damn time? The other thing that was going on today is the Series S with Battlefield 6. It's actually a positive thing. But like this one drove me kind of fucking crazy. EA talked about, hey, you know, they had some problems in development with optimizing for the memory because the Series S has lower memory, but it ended up helping all the platforms because they were able to sort out those issues by optimizing for the Series S and end up making everything even more stable. And then I saw people turning that into a negative. Oh, Series S causing development problems, making games more expensive to make and all this shit. I read that article and I'm saying, breaking news, a fucking developer had to optimize a game. Since when are we like advocating, oh, they shouldn't have to do more work? Oh, it's too bad for them because they have to develop the game for the Series S. I mean, what the fuck are we on about here? I played the beta on the Series S in my living room just to test it out to see how it was, because I was like, wow, this game looks great. It's so fucking crispy. I played it on my PC, played it on my Series X over here. And I was like, I got to try it on the Series S too. And I was like, wow, this is fucking amazing on the Series S too. I was actually having a hard time telling the difference because it looks so damn good. But then you see an article like this talking about, hey, what they did to get the Series S performing great, which is, man, you talk about the quality of a Series S versus a Switch 2. I'll take the Series S any fucking day of the week. That game playing on a Series S, I was like, wow, that's fucking great. And seeing the article that they had, hey, yeah, you optimize your fucking game. Yay, cool. Why is this even fucking news? Why are people using this as any kind of conversation point on social media and Twitter, arguing about how developers had to optimize so it's bad for the gaming and all this other kind of stuff? Series S has been holding back gaming this whole generation. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. It hasn't. Now, we see these conversations to solve more of the Game Pass stuff again. And this is the stuff people choose to talk about. Instead of all the fucking games we have coming out, all the games that are existing right now that have been coming out and hitting Xbox this generation or this year especially, and in Game Pass day and date, which you also have more access to than any other platform. They're giving you the fucking same game. You get to play it on PC, you get to play it on the console, you get to play it in the cloud. We're making improvements to all those as well. All the games of service games that they have, getting all these updates and all this shit constantly. And people choose to just try and pick it apart non-stop to no end. To be that delusional even in a video when you're talking about Nintendo on a Nintendo podcast, crawling out of a cave saying that Xbox has nothing. If all you pay attention to is kindergarten games, then yeah, you're not going to be aware of what's going on in the gaming world besides your little Mario world. Anyway, I think the Switch 2 is fine for playing those fun, silly games, those kindergarten games. and having some fun with it. Like I said, I am excited for the Fire Emblem that was announced. Again, finally, one that has textures in it on the walls and the floors. One that doesn't look like absolute dog shit ass. I'm excited to finally play that. I know I'm so gonna be pissing so many Nintendo fans off. I don't really care. You guys are, if anybody's been holding back the fucking industry, it's Nintendo fans that are just only Nintendo fans that just make excuses for every fucking thing Nintendo does and doesn't hold them to the same standard that you do the other fucking platforms. If anything's been holding the gaming industry back, it's you motherfuckers. It's your acceptance of shit for so long, applauding it, saying how much better it is than everything else, how happy you are to get fucked with every single bad deal that they put out there. Every game that's marginally better than the last, in pretty much the same copy and paste thing over and over and over again for generations. Looks 2 generations, maybe even 3 behind the competition, and are incapable of making really grand, good-looking, graphical, intensive games because the hardware is incapable enough. The only reason people give a shit about the hardware is because of the nostalgia factor again, and those IPs that people grew up and love are only playable on that device. Otherwise, it'd be fucking worthless. So, said it. I don't take it back. Nintendo is the worst as far as consumers go in the industry at treating their customers well with respect. They have cool IPs that I wish they would do way more with. I wish they have something actually really capable of playing great fucking awesome this generation type games, but that's not going to happen. Instead, we'll overpay for old shit because we love the brands and we accept it. We shovel it in our mouths and we say the competition that is doing way more and giving way better value has nothing to offer. Anyway, no Nintendo. Ray always says no Nintendo game is worth $70 to $80. I'd even argue 60 is too much. I would argue 40 is too much. I'd say $30. Compared it to the way that games look on Xbox and PlayStation for like those style games, yeah, a lot of them are like 20, 30 bucks. Jasper says, see, you're missing the point. Xbox and PS5 have no games because Nintendo is going to patent everything so no one can make games. Yeah, that's another thing. The whole patent thing. I covered that a little bit already the other day. But yeah, Nintendo has a fucking trying to get patent for summons. They actually were granted it. Like, this is ridiculous. They go and they copyright claim and strike everybody who even tries to cover their fucking games. They patent other people from being able to try and use things that have been in other games way before anything that they did. They're full of themselves. And because they're so full of themselves, their confidence about it rubs off on the communities around it. And they're like, oh yeah, Nintendo is the best because of this, because of that. Man, I don't fucking get it, man. I don't fucking get it. I used to love Nintendo when they were pushing boundaries, when they were doing new cool things, when they were really trying. Is anybody going to buy the Virtual Boy shit? I don't know. Anyway, I just had to get that stuff off my chest. I saw a lot of this stuff going on social media today. Like I said, there's enough here to give me fuel for a MAVCAST or whatever. So there I am on the thumbnail. I'm gonna close that. Other than that, don't got a lot. We got another show coming up on Thursday. Me and my wife also have our our podcast and channel that we started together. It's called Sup Babe Network. You can go check that out. So me and her either eating shit or talking, not shit, stuff, eating stuff, talking about stuff. We do our second episode just hit tonight. So if you want to check that out, it's over there on Sup Babe Network. Besides that, you can check me out here on Thursdays for Fun Speculation Podcast. And I was talking to Cade about maybe like a Monday nights starting to do like a regular MAVCAST thing, right? So maybe Mondays I try and make this a regular thing. I don't necessarily know what time yet, but yeah, there was a lot to talk about today. So anyway, I know many are going to disagree with my Nintendo comments, especially when I called it the kindergarten console. But it is what it is. You guys rock. C. Lord of Bravo says that was a fun impromptu show. Some things needed to be said, and I said them. Yeah, I appreciate you hanging out. RSJ fan, shout out to you. Appreciate you being here. Mr. M says, so if Nintendo games aren't worth 70 or 80, how much are Xbox and PlayStation games worth? Well, I mean, I would say 50 or 60. Honestly, I don't think any games are worth 70 or 80 bucks. I think the industry went insane when they started going up on their prices. That's just, I said that when they went up on their prices to begin with. I think prices on gaming should have went down. More consumers, like buying the games, and going up causes less consumers to buy your games. Like the return on investment for gaming is not just dependent on production costs and then how much you charge for your game, because if less people buy your game, you're not necessarily making the same amount of money now, are you? And if more people buy your game, you're making good money. Like Elden Ring was 60, they didn't go up, and they were one of the biggest games of the generation. Like, you don't have to go up on the fucking prices just because somebody else did. And somebody went first, and then everybody else was like, well, we can get away with it. We're going to do that. They're going to charge as much as they can get away with, until it starts costing them so much sales that it actually hurts their return on investment. And that's the way the pricing structure works for gaming. You can have a game like Hollow Knight Silksong charge $20. They know they could have charged 50 and still sold a shit ton, but they're going to sell even more at 20. And they're going to be a bigger brand, and they're going to sell a shit ton of copies, and they're going to do great. Like, so yeah, as far as gaming goes in general, I'd say 50, 60 bucks for a top tier game, AAA type. The extra $10, you do the math, isn't going to really change or make or break them. In fact, it could actually hurt if it costs them sales. And really all that's for is for the day one adopters. They're just trying to take advantage mostly of the people that they know they got sales of no matter what. Because they know a lot of gamers wait these days also and don't necessarily buy games right away. So they're just trying to screw over their most loyal customers with that extra $10 or extra 20 or whatever they're charging, like, because they'll sell the same game for fucking $35 2 months later. Web Dave says MAVCAST Mondays, dude, let's go. Yeah, but the production costs go up, so they got to make that money back. Yeah, by selling more copies and releasing the games in more places. What if a game is only $10 but it's boring trash? Then nobody's going to buy it. If a good game is a good game, people are going to get it. If it's not, people aren't. Sometimes good games don't sell as well as they should. Sometimes bad games sell more than they should, really. But overall, I think, the extra $10 didn't help anything in the industry when they went up to 70. Some of the most successful games this generation have been $60 games, or 50, or even less. And it's because they've caught on and a lot of people bought them, because it's a good game. Being 70 doesn't automatically make a game good. In fact, it actually maybe raises expectations a little bit. And when the game isn't as lived up or optimized or polished as it should be, people even get a little bit more pissed off about it. Because that extra $10 they needed because of the production costs or all the bullshit excuses. It's not how things work. It's not a set price. It's so hard. Like, if I'm making this phone, I know what it costs to make this phone, and I need to sell it at a certain price to make a profit. Or let's say if I'm making this toy car. Yeah, this toy car cost me this much to make and package and ship and get to the retailers. So we need to sell it for this much in order to make the profit that we need to make this business justifiable. Gaming isn't the same. Movies isn't the same. Music isn't the same. We live in a digital world, and also the production costs are related to the production of the material. Content, original content that is then put either in digital form or imprinted on cheap disc. That if it's physical media and it's a cheap disc, that's not related to how much the game cost. Like the 50-cent disc that it comes on and 50 cents worth of material in the box or whatever isn't related to how much it cost for a $70 game. It's not the material cost of the actual physical item. It's the production of it. So if you have a $500 million production cost, now you could decide, I'm going to sell my game for $70. Maybe 30 million people buy it. Right? You're doing really well there. Right? Maybe 3 million people buy it. Not so much. Not doing as hot, right? So you can play with the numbers. Okay, $60. Let's say 20 million buy it. You're doing really well still. What about 10? Yeah, you still make a profit. Right? Like you're hoping for the best return on investment, and you're trying to set the price according to what is going to bring you that return. Automatically just raising prices on something doesn't necessarily give you a better return if less people buy the product. So you could have a $30 game make more money than a $70 game because that many more people bought the $30 game. It's not the same thing as like just physical, actual material products. Anyway, whenever anybody started talking about inflation and all this other stuff and all the things had to go up because of that, this is something you had to explain over and over again. But I just don't think people get it. I don't know. Anyway. So if the game is high quality, then the price shouldn't matter. So who are you, Randy Pitchford? Yeah, the price always matters to the consumer because it's value based on what you're getting. But a good game is going to sell better than a bad game every single time. Or it should. Yeah, I'm not saying like a GTA 6. Yeah, GTA 6, something like that, they could probably charge what they want. They could probably charge $100 and it's still going to go big gangbusters. Doesn't mean they should. It might sell trying to pitch ideas, go back and forth at all these different focus groups and market research, back and forth at all these different focus groups and market research and all this shit. Oh, let's like WB, like, oh, let's make Gotham, let's have Rocksteady make the next Batman game. Oh, no, we're going to actually change it to this. Oh, they want to make this. No, we're going to change it to that. And we're going to give it to this different developer. That's how the real fucking waste happens. You want to talk about price? We're paying for their fuck-ups and their mismanagement of their businesses more than anything. The companies that do the best are the ones that actually release their games and release them in a timely manner. So, anyway. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. Check us out on Thursday for Fun Speculation Podcast in the PM Ultimate, whatever you want to call it, at 9 p.m. or sorry, no, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday nights. And then maybe on Monday nights, catch me here for a fucking MAVCAST. Hope y'all have a good one. Take it easy. Peace out. Good night.